but even more I get to be with every single one of you guys. And that's why I'm even more fired up because the team is on fire. Everybody is crushing it. You know, new people are coming every single day. People are crushing it on the charts. You see payouts every single day. And you know what? We decided we wanted to add some more fuel to that fire. And so I'm excited to share with you guys what we have going on here tonight. Obviously, this is our Tuesday night leadership calls where we're going to spit some game and, help you guys with, skipping steps essentially. Mentorship is the only cheat code in this industry. And when you can get around people that have maybe done what you want to do or are currently doing what you want to do or living the life that you want to live or having the results that you want, if there is a way to take time off of how long it'll take for you, it's mentorship, right? And these calls are a form of mentorship, and that's why we love doing them because we want to see everybody have success, but we want to see them have success even faster than maybe we were able to. Because when we get started, we might not have just had the right mentorship, and so we always try our best to deliver that to you guys. But before we dive into the trainings and the teachings, we have something extremely special that we want to share with you guys. We have something that if you guys have seen in the chats, massive, massive promo that I believe is going to 10x your business. But not only that, we have some cool things, cool prizes, cool rewards we want to give to the people that are already hustling. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my business partner. I hope you guys would all know who this is, but he is a man that is a mentor to thousands and thousands all around the world, help people crush it on a massive, massive level. And when me and him sat down a couple weeks ago, we said, what can we do to give back even more to the community, to reward people for going fast because success loves speed. And we came up with it. And I am super excited. And so let me go ahead and pass it over to my brother, my business partner, the man that is going to show you guys exactly what has everybody buzzing so heavily right now. Joshua, take it away, baby. Take it away.
The team's buzzing. All right, man. I appreciate you so much for, obviously the introduction. I love the last 7 years that we've been able to work together, and also so many of you on this call that we've been able to build relationships with. And if we haven't been able to build a relationship with you yet, just know your time's coming. Our mentors, Matt Thayer, Joey Wilson. Some of you might know who that is. I remember when we first got started, man, we were fighting to get their mentorship, right? And it's because we learned something when we first got in the industry that the student does not choose the mentor appears when the student's ready. Right. And so we weren't ready to be mentored by Matt and Joey when we first got into this industry. But I'll tell you what, I'm very, very excited to be on this call, speaking to each and every single one of you. Thank you for taking time out of your day. If you don't know who I am, my name is Josh Amundson. I am 27 years old. I'm younger than Jay. He's 28. I'm 27. No, I'm just kidding. I turned 28 on the 16th, so that's going to be interesting. But I've been trading since I was 18 years old, and I've been doing this business, this industry since I was 20 years old. And so I've been doing this full time for about 7 years now, and I love connecting with each and every single person inside of the business. And so always feel free to reach out, ask questions, right? We're available to literally everyone, but we like to work with the willing. We like to work with people that are consistent, they're coachable and teachable, and they got a work ethic, right? And so we're really excited to be on this call, ladies and gentlemen, just like Jay was saying, because we have something that we put together that I remember me and Jay, I believe we were 21 years old at the time. It was the first time ever that we saw something like this come out. It was the first time ever that we saw something like this be released within the organization that we were a part of. It was actually Matt and Joey that originally released something like this. And so we're super excited to come up with it. We put a lot of time, effort, and energy into putting it together. There's a lot of moving parts and everything, but we're just excited to share it with each and every single one of you tonight. We are going to do a leadership training right after we actually release this. We're going to have a few people come up and share their experience with this type of, promo, with these types of incentives as well. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that coming up here in about 45 minutes, there is an Akashex presentation for as many people that can get registered on that Zoom call as possible. So just know if you don't have your free account yet, if you don't, obviously maybe haven't hit the rank 1K yet, whatever the case might be, this is always an opportunity for you to just have a free membership. Think about this. I did the math on this. I've been in the business for 7 years and it's been amazing. Okay. I did the math. I got my free account within 7 days of joining 7 years ago. I've saved over $15,000 I did the math. $15,000 over the last 7 years. I was thinking to myself, it can't be that much, but that's actually insane. And so I'm super happy and grateful that, I've been able to have a free membership, but this call in 45 minutes is your chance to be able to just get one, right? Understand if you haven't reached where you want to be yet, if you haven't accomplished the goals you want yet, that's okay. Me and Jay, we actually had friends get started around the same time we did that learned how to trade faster, that saw results quicker than us. Yeah, it was frustrating, but it was really cool to see that, right? So just understand, if you do have people get started, introduce them to the person who got you started, to one of us, and we will also help you coach and mentor the people that you care about, if you have obviously have them get started. Okay. So what we wanted to do, ladies and gentlemen, if I just show you real quick, is one, obviously we have the Florida event coming up July 12th. Guys, drop a one in the chat if you are coming to the Breaking Boundaries Florida Fort Lauderdale event. I'm so excited for this, guys. It's going to be an absolutely amazing event. Multiple six-figure earners, seven-figure earners, industry legends that have, had organizations of millions of people, but made such a big impact are going to be at this event. Me and Jay would have literally not even lasted a year if we didn't go to live events, right? If we didn't go to company events. So we made the decision when we got started in this industry, we'll never miss events. We go to all of the company events because it's kind of like, if you want to become a doctor, this is medical school, right? If you want to become a top earner in this industry, this is the medical school for the network marketing industry, right? You got to come here, rub shoulders with the top earners. There's going to be food included, unbelievable trainings. And we got a lot of cool things that are going to be happening outside of this event in Florida as well. So we wanted to put something together that had to do with this event right here, but not just this one. Also, the company came out with a Tulum all-inclusive incentive trip for every single person in the company to be able to attend. You guys can actually find this if you're in your My Daily Choice back office. You have to be an affiliate in order to actually see this menu on the left side. But if you go to the events tab, incentive trips, you guys can see what you are currently qualified for, and all the way from being a 1K in the company to being a super affiliate, right? So we wanted to do something that kind of intertwined both of these, right? And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, me and Jay, I believe we were on the second year of our journey. B and J obviously have been trading for a long time, but we had about 300 people in our organization when this promo came out that we're about to show you. We had around 300 people. And when this promo came out, guys, over the span of, I believe it was about 2 to 4 months, we took the organization to around 1,400 people. And so it's an absolutely cool promo. I'm super excited to release it, but I wanted to let you know that it has to do with both of these. Obviously you guys have been seeing this blurred image. Some of you are like, what is it, buddy? Just show us already. We're just super excited that every single person is on here to be able to see this right now. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and show you what it is right now. So this is called the Wi-Fi Money Rank Up Blitz. Okay. Understand that this is not a promo for the entire company. This is a promo for people that are inside of the Wi-Fi Money Telegram. Okay. And so I'm going to break down exactly how this works. Keep in mind, this promo ends on June 30th at 11:59 p.m. CST. Okay. And so we'll send all the information into the actual Wi-Fi Money Telegram. We'll make sure to break it down so you guys understand it. But let's kind of go through this, okay? If by June 30th, by the end of the day, you have reached the rank 1K, right? These are new 1K ranks. You're actually going to win a book and a certificate that's going to actually be sent to you. If you're in Florida, we'll potentially have it there. You're going to be able to get a book and a certificate. Building an Empire is one of the most valuable books in this entire industry, right? And so there's knowledge hidden inside of books. If you are a new 5K rank, you're actually going to get a free Fort Lauderdale Breaking Boundaries event ticket, so you won't even have to pay for the event ticket, and you're going to get a certificate. Okay. And if you're wondering how to hit these different ranks, reach out to us or reach out to the person who obviously got you started, and we can break it down how it actually works. Okay. Now we're starting to take it up a little bit, right? Any new 10K ranks by June 30th, you're going to get a certificate. You're also going to get a private leadership dinner in Miami and a private leadership dinner in Tulum. Okay, this is not, an Applebee's. We're gonna go to a really, really cool restaurant. Me and Jay have been to these locations multiple times. It's gonna be an amazing 10K and above leadership dinner in Miami and Tulum, and a certificate for those of you that reach the rank of 10K by June 30th. Now, this is where we're starting to get into obviously some bigger stuff, right? This is for all active 25Ks. All right. So this doesn't have to be a new 25K. This can be active 25Ks. Active 25Ks by the end of June 30th, right? You're actually going to be able to go on a luxury massive yacht with all the different top leaders inside of Akashics, right? Matthew Thayer, Joey Wilson, Ali Saleh, tons of different leaders are going to be on these yachts, and you're going to be able to hang out. I believe the yacht's going to be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, right? But we're going to be going to the coolest destinations, driving through the actual rivers that go through Miami. It's one of the coolest experiences in the entire world. And so right there, that's a luxury yacht with the top leaders for all active 25Ks, plus all of the different incentives that come from hitting the ring 10K. Okay. Now, so that's active 25Ks. You also get what the 10K prizes are. Okay. If you're an active 25K by June 30th. Now, active 50Ks. Okay. An active 50K rank by June 30th, as long as you are active by the end of June 30th, right? You're also going to receive Gucci sandals and a wallet, right? We could talk about that if you want, but Gucci sandals, a wallet, you're going to get featured because that is a 6-figure residual rank in the network marketing industry. You are making a residual 6 figures when you're at this rank, right? You're going to get featured in 5 different published news articles. Okay, they're going to be 5 different written articles about you published. You're going to be able to find them on Google. This is where you're starting to build your brand like crazy. When you reach a 6-figure income inside of this industry, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand that the whole world starts to learn about who you are, because obviously it doesn't matter what business you're doing. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. To go out and create an online 6-figure income, it takes work, it takes desire, it takes dedication, it takes consistency, right? And so we're going to have 5 published articles about you, about your journey, everything about, how you got to where you are today. You'll be able to find it on Google, the Gucci sandal and wallet. Also, you're going to get the 10K and 25K rank prizes, ladies and gentlemen. So this promo, I remember I was 21 years old when this came out, and me and Jay looked at each other like, we have to go crush everything on this promo. We have to get everything done. We looked at each other, and what we did was we made a decision. I believe it was around 50 days out, kind of like this when we first did it. It was about 50 days out or so. And me and Jay just made a decision. Listen, for the next, 50, 60 days, we did it longer than that. We're going to cut all distractions out. We're going to stop serving anything that's not serving us. We're going to stop surrounding ourselves with people that are prohibiting us from going to the next level. And we are going to stay focused and grind every single day. We were 21 years old, guys. This was 6 years ago when this promo dropped, 5, 6 years ago. And we took action. We made it happen. And when me and Jay finally got to go experience this promo, I'll tell you what, our lives completely changed. We could not go back to thinking on a normal level. It was kind of like when you stretch the neck of a t-shirt, it doesn't go back to the same size. The experiences stretched our mindset. We got to hang around people making 6 figures a month, multi 7 figures a year. We got to see the coolest things and have the best conversations on the highest level possible. And so if I were you, ladies and gentlemen, I would do anything you can to obviously crush every single thing on this promo, but to for sure hit 25K for sure. That's what I'll tell you guys, because this yacht experience is going to be absolutely insane. Okay. So one thing I wanted to mention is for these 1Ks, you're going to have to at least have 10 people inside your business. Okay. Some of you know that you can obviously sell, 2 yearly packages and a monthly, and you hit the rank 1K. You're going to have 10 people active inside of your business by the end of June 30th, with yourself being a actual 1K qualified rank. Okay. So we'll post all the details for this right here. Baby, I'm fired up. Let's go. All right. So what I want to do real quick, ladies and gentlemen, is I want to have a few individuals come up here that have accomplished different promos that have came out in the past, that have gone on different incentive trips, that have been able to rub shoulders with some of the top earners in this entire industry. I want to have them come up here. I'm going to go ahead and start spotlighting different individuals that are on this call real quick. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and start spotlighting them. There's Jay. Come on, Jay. Let's go. So we got my man Tippa, we got Landon, and we also have Mr. Cade Hansen. Okay. Now there's been other people obviously in this call that have qualified for different promos and stuff like that. But these are individuals that I've been working with for a while now. They are some of the most consistent people that I've ever met in this entire industry. And think about this, I've been doing this business for over 2,000 days. And if I'm willing to say that about these three individuals, it must say a lot about them, right? So I'm gonna stop talking. I want these guys to come up here and just share about their experience, being able to go to for an example, there was the Arizona Scottsdale mega mansion we all went to. It was like a 5, 6, 7, $8 million mansion. But I know they've accomplished other promos too. So whoever wants to go first, we can have let's say Landon Defoe. How about you go first, boss?
I just knew it, man. I just knew it, like when you just like look at me, you're like, yeah, this guy needs to talk right now. So, listen, guys, if you don't know me, my name is Landon Defoe. I'm 22 years young, just got back from having a baby, and listen, Florida has never sounded better. Also, going and just smacking through all those goals. Listen, when I first started inside of this industry, I was 18 years old, okay? So, being younger, I was like, okay, if I could just do something cool like that, I know that my whole network will literally see that too. But also I'll have some fun too. So I literally made a promise to myself in the beginning that I would never miss stuff like this. Number one, because I'm not lame, but number two, because this is how you win. This is how you get to these higher ranks. And obviously, you can get to higher ranks like all the time, whatever, just by pure grit. But listen, you have something that Josh and Jay, and all the leaders, that we have to go and crush. And I'll just tell you, when I was 18, I went on a yacht. It wasn't like a huge one or anything like that. But I do remember having to go crush through a rank. Okay, you needed like 12, 15 people, okay? And I was just 18. I was getting on this yacht, and it felt so insane because of the people that were on there, right? I was literally speaking and talking to people that are making more money in a single month than my whole family was in a single month, okay? And that just didn't make sense to me. So when I sat down and I talked to these people, like life just didn't feel real. My brain stretched so far and I hustled so hard to get on there. Even though it wasn't extreme, I still hustled and I got on there. And that forever did change my life. And then go around the whole next year later, I did the same thing, but just bigger. And then just like Josh said, maybe a few months ago, I think it was in February, we went to Arizona, and I'll just tell you, I was, you had to be 10K affiliate. And I don't know even know how much I was away from 10K. I don't even know, Josh. We were pushing, man, but just know it was a sweaty situation. I was sweating, it was down to the line, but I literally was like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to step back three on Joey Wilson. You have to see yourself there, guys. See, like, look, it's so cool. I've experienced this stuff, so then you guys can hear from me. But I want you guys to understand that, just because there's only 1, 2 months to go and crush through these goals does not mean that you can't go and do all of it. Just because you aren't even 1K does not mean you can't go get on that yacht. And I can promise you that there is so many people on this call right now that maybe haven't even touched a rank that can be on that yacht, that can go and also be 50K with some nice Gucci slides, whatever you decide. But don't cut yourself short because you don't think you have enough time. Just compress that stuff. And trust me, when you hear more from Cade and from Tippa, their experiences, you're gonna want to press on that gas even more. But just know it is worth it more than ever, more than you even know. And once you get on that yacht, once you get those Gucci slides, once you get a nice little Gucci wallet, whatever, and get to hang out with the big dogs, not even just the big dogs, just create a good relationship with some of the top earners and, earn their respect in time. Okay. Because it's got to be earned, guys. I did it. Did the same thing. I had to earn it. So let's all go and earn it. Let's all go and let's crush through these goals so we can go and show all these other leaders that we are the ish. Let's go pop some new ranks. Yeah, I'm gonna pass it over. Popcorn, Cade. Appreciate you guys.
What's going on, family? Super excited to, be on here, getting to talk to all you guys. It's always a blessing. If we're talking about like traveling right now, like, obviously this even the 10K rank, like that's something that you guys can even go have a full-time income in, right? And like right now, like me, like I had to get a couple days where I had to come back home and go see the fam for a couple reasons, and like sitting back out in the boonies here working on the deck all day, and like that's and that's cool to me. Like, maybe fuck a yacht for like 30 seconds and just be like, think like what you can go do, like just where you get to work and stuff. If you go ahead and achieve these ranks and hold these ranks that are higher income, you get to go places, you get to go travel with your family, stuff like that, right? But also outside of that, like yeah, like I got to go, out to Dubai. Me and Tip were out there, we roomed together. That was a ton of fun. We went on 2 yachts, I think, private islands, stuff like that. Me, Josh, and Jay. Like that was super cool. And I was out there with Joey Wilson, Matt Thayer, Noah Ortiz, Andrew Perez. Like, I built a lot of really good relationships with all those guys. And, and that's something that I think is really what helped my growth the most is they if you meet a lot of these guys too, like they're gonna hold you accountable. Like they want people that want to win in their circle. That's why they sit where they sit. And then just like Scottsdale, we were in Chicago. I mean, we were all over. So like, guys, like at the end of the day, chase the goal of getting to the next rank and then get to the next rank and get to the next rank. Like just, make a short term and a long term goal. You have 60 days to go. Like, I mean, every person on this call right now, like you guys all could be 5K to 10K easily, very easily. Like, whether or not you're at zero or you already are at the 1K rank. So just go get it. I mean, at the end of the day, this is going to also help you after too. Like when I when I was in Dubai, I was sitting at the 1K rank. And when I left Dubai, within 24 hours, I was at the 10K rank. So it's all about turning it on and off. It's just a switch that you in a sixth gear. And if you guys choose to use that sixth gear, because it's all a choice if you want to go get it. It's up to you if you have the belief to go get it done. But I'm gonna shift this over to my main man Tip, Mr. 50K affiliate, and I'll give it to you, brother.
What's going on? Appreciate you, Cade. Landon, Cade, you guys are always dropping some sauce, man. I appreciate you guys, everything that you do. Josh and Jay, obviously, you guys are the ones, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, so I'm gonna try to keep this short. And I want you guys to understand that, all the motivating that we're doing and the hype building that we're doing to go on these trips. For some of the people that haven't been on these kind of trips or haven't been in this industry for too long, you might think that, there's too much hype with it, and these trips can't be that crazy, right? Now, I'm here to tell you that 5 years into this industry, okay, and Josh kind of brought this up to me recently, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So 5 years in this industry, I took a break for like, a year or so. I started when I was 18, about to be 23, May 18th. Come on. And it took, me getting back into this space, but my first like real company trip that I went on, that was last year. Right. That was last year. We went to Chicago. I've done little like leadership retreats and stuff like that, a little bit before, but since I went on my first trip, guys, right, a year later, almost exactly a year later, I hit the 50K rank in this company. Okay, so before then, I was, hovering around 400 to $600 a month in income in this business, not taking things too serious. And let me tell you guys why this happened to me. And since then, I've been to Chicago, been to Florida, I don't even know how many times now, Dubai, Vegas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We just came back from Arizona. I just came back from Mexico just for vacation a couple of times. And what it really does, guys, is, there's one thing, and the first thing is belief in yourself. Okay. If you're lacking that, guys, you're going to be capped at where you perceive yourself to be and what you deem yourself worthy for. Okay. When you get around these calls like this, you're capped at what we can get you to believe, and so this collective right here, we've had a certain amount of success in this business, and we can help you get to these goals, get to these levels of income, lifestyle, whatever it may be. But guess what, guys? There are so many more people
in this community, in this platform that are making even more money, that are traveling even more, that are higher level leaders, okay? That can help you believe in yourself more, get you to those higher levels of income from information, and most importantly, proximity. All right. This business is push and pull. People that you get started or people that got you started and are above you in terms of income, whatever it may be, guys, we are all helping each other get to that next level. Okay. So when you get to these events, when you get in person, not just on Zoom, it is an absolute game changer. And I'm telling you from experience, if you miss out, you are forfeiting. You are forfeiting a time that you cannot see and where you can reach your goals. And guess what? If you don't make it to a trip soon, you'll eventually quit this business and you'll forfeit your why, forfeit all of your goals that you committed to yourself, that you told your mentor that you're going to go and achieve. And guess what? We're telling you right now, in order for you to actualize those goals, yes, you can do all the daily disciplines, but if you want to expedite that process and secure that you're going to go and hit these goals, guys, you need to commit to yourself to get yourself to these events. All right, so I'll leave it at that, guys. I'll see you guys in Miami. Get your tickets. If you need help breaking stuff down, how to reach your goals, hit me up. I'm always available. And you can hit up any one of these lovely lads right here, too. So thanks, guys.
Amazing, amazing. Hey, thank you guys so much for sharing. I loved each and every single one of your stories because, I know the story behind your guys' incentive, enjoyment stories. I know what you guys did to get those things done. I remember when we got home, for an example, Kate, when we got home from Dubai and we were literally in the airport just going crazy. Like we're all posted up in the corner of the airport, just hustling like absolutely crazy, man. And you hit 10K right after that. Landon, same with you, man. I mean, I know exactly what you had to go through to get it done. And the thing is, it's like the mentors always say, in this industry is like, what are you willing to do to get it done? And the answer is whatever it takes. Literally whatever it takes, right? And Tipa, same with you, man. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming up and your sharing. We're gonna go ahead and switch gears, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead and unspotlight your videos. Thank you so much again for sharing to each and every single person. What we're gonna do real quick, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to be passing it over to my business partner on this call. I'm going to be posting the information for this promo, but we're going to get into a little bit of training right now. Okay. We're going to talk about some obviously different like higher level stuff on how to really go take this to the next level. Okay. So the individual I'm going to have come up, he's the individual that opened up the call. He's been my business partner for 7 years and he's been my best friend for about 9 to 10 years. Right. And so make sure 100% you have your notebooks out. Make sure you're writing this stuff down. Understand that, how are we going to help the people that are joining the business in the future if we're forgetting about what we're learning today? You will forget 95% of what it is that you learn if you don't write this stuff down. You guys have probably seen it on other calls. I hold up like 8 notebooks, man. I have a notebook for pretty much every single year I've been in the business. Okay. Note takers are money makers. So my guy, Jay PATNODE, has helped thousands of people around the world. He's held trading sessions in front of thousands of people on Zoom, and he's absolutely crushed it at a very, very high level. Been a multi 6-figure earner for about 4 to 5 years now. Okay. So he's going to come up here. Jay, I appreciate you so much, man. Take it away, and then I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, here in a little bit.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate the pass back, and I appreciate everybody that spoke on the call. I mean, it's beautiful to see, first off, how close we've all gotten over, the last X amount of years in this business, but also just to see the growth and development of everybody. There's always the quote that we live by is, as you're building your business is building you. And it stands so true because everything that you want to accomplish, every person that you want to become, every dream version of yourself can be found within this industry. And I know that for a fact, right? Like I know that for a fact. The man that I was when I first got started at 2021 is not the man that I am today at 28. And I'm grateful for it. If everything, if I was able to do it all over again and it wasn't even tied with the financial aspect, I would still take so much out of who I was able to become. But obviously I love the financial aspect as well, right? That's been a big blessing within this world. But I want to give you guys a couple of different things that have helped me along the way, and things that, honestly, when we first got a part of a promo like this, what was told to me that really changed my perspective on can I go do this, right? The big question is, you want to ask yourself, do you think you can go do this? Do you think you can do this? And I know you can, but it's up to you, right? If it's meant to be, it's up to me. That's the quote. And if you don't have a pen or pencil and a notebook out yet, then you've already lost the battle, right? I've never met somebody in this industry that goes and crushes it that doesn't take notes. That's just me being honest, right? Even myself, I didn't want to have to take notes. I was not the big note taker, but I became it because I knew that all this information was important. But what are the biggest enemies of success? It's fear, indecision, and doubt. Those are the three biggest enemies of success. I want you to write this down. If you've heard this before, good. Hear it again and write it down again. Because if you're not where you're at, it's because you have one of these three things battling against you. It's fear, indecision, and doubt. And the biggest one I want to talk about is fear. 99% of our biggest fears in this world never come true. And that's a proven fact. 99% of our biggest fears never come true. And that is one of our biggest detriments towards success is just being afraid to talk to that person, being afraid to take that step, being afraid to go all in the business. And that fear, that crippling fear is what stops you from doing so much stuff just in your life. And not even just this business, but you think about all the things that you wish you would have done in your life. Whether it was, going for a certain goal or task, or maybe, there's a significant other or somebody that you really liked, you just never spoke with. And now instead you settle, right? That fear is what stops us many times in life. But what does fear stand for? Well, it's false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. That is one of the meanings that we talk about fear having is false evidence appearing real, or how I like to look at it is face everything and rise. There's two ways you can look at it, right? False evidence appearing real or face everything and rise. Because when you face your fears, that is when the life that you truly want, your dream life, that is where it is. It's right past that level of fear, right past that indecision, right past that doubt you have in your mind. I've never met somebody that went and hit a six-figure income or a seven-figure income in this business that was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? As far as mentally, if they didn't believe that this was it, and you need to believe it, and you need to not be afraid of what's to come. Whenever I go ahead and think about any sort of type of fear that I've ever had in my entire life, I think about, well, what's the other options? I look at it now. I'm 28 years old. I've been doing this business for 6, 7, 8 years now, right? Been doing it for a while. And I imagine the one thing I'm afraid of is living the life that I would have to without this business. I'm afraid of going to work every single day. That scares the hell out of me because I have been free in this industry for the last 5, 6 years. Every single day I get to wake up when I want to. I get to go to the gym when I want to. I get to go eat lunch when I want to. I get to hang out with my best friend, my brother, my business partner whenever we want to. We get to take trips when we want to. And I don't ever say that to impress, but I say that to impress upon you what you're missing out on if you don't go all in. F the price for going in. I'm talking about this is the price for not going all the way in. This is the price for not crushing the promo. This is the price for not going to the events. If you don't get your Florida ticket, if you are not in Florida, you're not serious to me. And you can't say, and obviously there's some very, very small reasons why, yes, there's some barriers and some people that maybe I would understand, but 99.9% of the people, if you are in the States and you don't go, oh man, don't text me saying, hey Jay, can you help me with X, Y, and Z? Because I don't think you're serious. We had all the roadblocks against us when we first got started in this business, right? No money and experience. I mean, at first we didn't have mentorship, right? But what do? We put the time, effort, and energy and didn't say, all the reasons why it wouldn't happen, but more so, how can we get this done? If you're talking to me right now, I had somebody, we were at Super Saturday. We host Super Saturdays here, right? And somebody was like, man, I just don't know how I'm going to afford that. Well, I said, you're brand new here, right? But that's the wrong question. How am I going to afford, or, I don't know how I'm going to afford that. You have to ask yourself, how am I going to afford that? What can I do to afford that? If you tell me you can't afford it, I'll go ahead and give you a goal and maybe we can help you out with it, right? If you go accomplish X, Y, and Z. But now you guys see, you can get part of it paid for. You can get the ticket paid for by hitting 5K. And so how bad do you want it? I want you to write this down on a piece of paper before I pass this away. I want you to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? And what are you afraid of more? What it takes to do this, or the life that you have to live if you don't do this? All of us are at different stages of our life, different ages, different, experience levels, different years within the industry. And that's the cool thing is somebody that has been doing this for 6 months can blow past somebody an income, skill level, experience by collapsing timeframes. And that's the whole point of these promos is to collapse timeframes. It's to give you an extra incentive to do all the things that maybe you're going to do over the next 6 months. Maybe you do it over the next 2 months. Same thing with events. You come to events. What does that do? They say if you go to an event, it is worth 1 year of actual knowledge without an event, right? It would take you a whole year to accumulate the same skill set. You heard what Tipper talks about. The moment he went to an event after being in the industry for years, boom, six-figure income, right? It's not a coincidence, guys. So make sure you are there. Make sure you are in Tulum. Make sure you crush these incentives. Make sure you have some pride in this. Have some pride. Want to be a winner. Losing is not fun, guys. I can promise you that. And in this industry, it's not a special trick. It's not a special tip. You show up, you get paid. You show up to these calls. You do what the people that have the results you want tell you to do. You get paid. That's all we ever did. We showed up. We asked, what do we have to do? We did it with no questions asked. And then we got what we got at the time, right? And so that's all I want you guys. I want you guys to think about in the back of your mind when you think of next time you're afraid. Think about how scary it will be to live the same life that maybe you're currently living, if you don't love it, for the next 30, 40 years. The average retirement age in the US is 66. You know what the average life expectancy age is? Can somebody put that in the chat for me? If you know what the average life expectancy age is in the United States. I believe it is 77. So you're telling me maybe it's 76, maybe it's 73 now, with the way the foods are out here. But think about it, guys. The average retirement age is 66. And what if, the average retirement age is 76, the average retirement age is 66, and the average life expectancy is, let's say it's 76. So you're telling me you have 10 years of enjoyment after 66 of being locked in? Now that should truly scare you guys. And so all I'm saying is put the time, effort, and energy now. Do whatever you have to do to crush this. F fear. It's false evidence appearing real. Let's face everything and rise. And let's make this the best. We're almost halfway through the year. Let's finish this year out so strong so you can say, guess what? I look back and that promo was the reason why I was able to go hit six figures. That was the start of my journey. That was my hero arc of my own life. Become the hero. Stop being a side character in the movie that is your life. Let's win and let's do it big. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over, back to Josh. You guys obviously know who he is and how, and how beneficial his information is. But I want you guys, like I said, if you haven't been taking notes yet, make sure you listen to what he has to say, because there's so many times that I can look back on different people's careers and they'll be talking about something after maybe hitting a rank, and they'll be like, "Man, it was this one thing that stuck out with me, and it was something that he said," because he has notes on notes on notes and knowledge and knowledge. His mind is a network marketing Bible, if I can put it that way. So make sure you take it out and listen to the one and only. But Josh, I'm gonna pass it back to you. And I already know the value that you're gonna be giving is beyond extraordinary. So make sure you take notes, guys. And I hope you have a good rest of your night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jay, I appreciate you a ton, man. Back at you, man. Back at you. Still to this day, Jay says things that I actually learned from, and we live together, which is the craziest part, right? But I want to start this off real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We got about 15 minutes before the presentation call for every single guest that is registered, okay? Jay, if you don't mind, could you go ahead and forward those into the telegrams so everyone could see it? But I just want to dive into some stuff real quick. Thank you so much, Jay, for sharing that information. But I want to start off with this, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Obviously, you just saw what the promo is, okay? You saw what the promo is that we are hosting. Every single person inside of the Wi-Fi Money Telegram, and they are amazing prizes, okay? But what I want you to start off with this is on your notebook, I want you to write this down, okay? Even if you've already accomplished a rank that you wanted to accomplish, set the bar higher, right? Take this serious. I've been writing this quote for 7 years, okay? I want you to write this down, okay? I am so happy and grateful now that I am, and then put whatever rank it is on this rank up blitz that you want to be, okay? Whether it's 50K, 25K, 10K, push yourself, okay? Most people, the reason they don't accomplish what they want is because they're thinking too small and too little, okay? Think big, right? I'm so happy and grateful now that I am whatever rank you want to be by June 30th, 2025. And then below that, put it's already done. Okay. When I was 20 years old, I was told to write down this quote by a person that was making 7 figures a month. He told me to write this down. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. I was like, I'm not. He told me I need to act as if it's already done, right? If you want to become a 6-figure earner, if you want to become a 7-figure earner, you have to start acting like one right now. You got to speak to everyone as if they are already 6-figure, 7-figure earners, everyone, right? But you have to consider yourself a 6-7-figure earner, whatever you want to be. You have to consider yourself that right now. Act as if you already are that. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm the 50K rank by June 30th, 2025. It's already done. Okay. Now I have that written on my whiteboard. I have it written all over different goal sheets that I have for the next goals that I have. Okay. Now, I want to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you wrote this quote down. We're going to be dropping the flyer here in a little bit for the rank up, okay? But I want you to understand something, okay? It was right around this time, like I said, about 5 years ago when me and Jay, I think we had 30 people in our business and we were just like, we got to find, like Kate was talking about, that sixth gear. We got to find that just different motive, that different drive that we knew we had inside of each other, right? And I want to talk to you about this. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, sitting inside of Akashex, there's about 20,000 people inside of this business, okay? There's around 20,000 customers. When we got started here, in August of 2024, there was a little over 1,000 people. There was a little over 1,000 people and we've reached 20,000, right? Guys, this company is going to absolutely explode. I want you to think about this. My Daily Choice, ladies and gentlemen, which is obviously, basically the main company, Akashex is a brand. They've done multiple 9 figures in sales. Multiple 9 figures in sales. Okay. I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in sales over their whole course, their whole track record, right? This company is so strong. And now that we have Akashex exactly where it needs to be, we are primed to go to 250,000 customers. We are primed to go to 250,000 to 1,000,000 customers inside of this business. It's absolutely insane. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last 9 months, the company is well over 10x and it's about to do it again. Okay. And so you have to understand that what took me and Jay when we were brand new, we had like 10, 20, 30, people inside of our team. What took us to the next level, what took us to really take this serious is we had to understand what quantum growth was. We had to understand what quantum growth was. We didn't know what this was. We had no idea. Here's an example. Every single person's goal on this call should be the 50K rank minimum. Minimum, that should be your goal, right? That was something we heard. And so it started stretching our beliefs, right? Every single person's goal should be to have momentum inside of their business. Momentum, ladies and gentlemen, momentum is where it's a collective group, okay, that is all moving towards the same direction. You have momentum inside your business when you and your team are dialed in, when you're hustling, when you're locked in on the same goals and putting in work every single day together, day after day after day. That is momentum when everyone has unison, right? The coolest thing about this business, ladies and gentlemen, trading is awesome. I love it. I absolutely crushed it in this past week with trading, right? But earning a residual, guaranteed, reoccurring passive income for the rest of your life for something that you go out and you build one time, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. I remember when me and Jay are brand new, we're like, man, we would love to. There wasn't funded accounts. There wasn't challenge accounts. We didn't have that when we were brand new. We had to use our own money. Right? We had to use our own money in our trading accounts. Okay. Well, me and Jay were making $150 a month when we first got in this industry. We were making nothing. So imagine how hard it was for us to actually fund our trading accounts. Imagine how hard it was for us to do other investments, to purchase cryptocurrencies, right? To actually position ourselves to take our life to the next level. That's why residuals are so cool. They allow you to make more decisions. When you have a larger guaranteed passive residual income, you get to make more decisions about your life. That's the great thing about residuals, right? I want to mention to you as well, I said this already, but you want to speak for now on to every person inside of your business as if they are a 50K rank or above. I want you to speak to people with professionalism, speak to people with high regards, right? Treat everyone as if they are top earners inside of this business. You are building your legacy, right? We are all the same. If someone makes more money or someone is a different rank or has a different trading result, it doesn't matter. We are all on an even playing level field. Okay. So speak to people as if they obviously are 50K ranks or above. Speak to people as if they're already 6, 7 figure earners. All right. Now, I want to talk about this. All right. In this business, you have to understand sometimes on these calls, we're going to say things that might sting. Okay. But when you hear things that sting, it's disinfecting it to help you correct it. Okay. It's like when you pour alcohol on an open wound, it's disinfecting it. Okay. So that's why it's so important to come to these calls. And when you hear something, you're like, oh, that's me. That's me. That person's talking about, right? Lean into it. Lean into it. Disinfect it. Because that's the only way you're going to get better, right? And so I want to talk about, how to really establish a quantum mindset. Okay, how do you establish a quantum mindset? This type of quantum mindset is what caused me and Jay to absolutely level up our life in every single aspect. Okay, so understand it's not about what you can do, it's about what you can teach. If you really want to go to the big leagues inside of this industry, you have to learn that it's not about what you can do, it's about what you can teach. Because what you can teach is duplicatable. And that's what each and every single person in this industry is after, is duplication. Okay. You have to also understand when you're establishing a quantum mindset. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have to completely remove all distractions from your life. Okay. If it is not serving you, you need to remove it. If it is preventing you from getting to the next level, you need to remove it. Okay. You have to remove negative friends. You have to remove negative influences. You have to remove negative behaviors, negative addictions, right? You got to remove wasting time. You got to remove binging TV shows. You got to remove hanging out with people for too long, sleeping in for too long. Some of you that have significant others, you spend 8 hours in day or a day in bed with each other, right? Get out of bed. We got work to do, right? Otherwise, things won't change. And so it's different for everyone, but you have to understand no outside influences can impact what is going on here right now. You have to set a wall up. You have to go all in on these goals. I remember my mentor, he literally just said more, more, more. I was like, I'm already only hanging out with my friends 3-4 days a week. He goes, hang out with them less, right? He goes, do the business more. And it's because I really wanted to take this to the next level. Okay. So if you really want to go on this run, if you really want to capitalize on these types of promos and actually get to the side of this business that everyone wants to be on, you have to give it everything you got. Everything you got. Okay. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're brand new, right? I'm not here to scare you. I'm just here not to lie to you. I'm here to tell you the truth because I want to see you succeed. I want to see you level up. I want to see you never have to work a job if you don't want to. I want to see you be able to fly your family around the world. I want to see you to be able to go on trips whenever you want. Put your kids in any school you want or homeschool them. I want to see you be able to live where you want, eat what you want, and completely design the life that you want. Okay. So that's why I'm telling you, if you really want the opposite side that everyone wants to be on, you have to give it everything you got. Right. So this is the mindset I started adopting. I was like, I have to go into the quantum mindset. Okay. Like I said, the mind is just like a t-shirt. If you do not stretch your mind, you're not going to elevate. We come on these calls to stretch our brains so they don't go back to the same. We have to stretch our beliefs, our work ethic, right? So I want to tell you how to have a quantum experience in 3 different ways right now. Okay, here is how to have a quantum experience. I'm talking about if you're sitting right now brand new with no one on your team in the business and you want to go hit 50K, that's a quantum experience. If you want to go from the 1K to the 25K, the 1K to the 50K by June 30th, this is a quantum experience you're going to go through. Okay, number 1 is you have to have a quantum mindset. You got to think big. You have to think huge. You have to think the most abundant mindset you possibly can, right? Quantum mindset. Number 2 is you're going to have a quantum work ethic. Okay. If you've ever seen the daily goals before, who's seen the daily goals? Drop a 1 in the chat. Anybody seen the daily goals before? Yeah, I see Kate hold up a 1. It says 3 to 5 calls, right? 3 to 5 calls a day, 3 to 5 presentations a day keeps a job away. Well, me and Jay, we were so scared to ever go work a job again. We were so scared not to win. We're doing 10 to 15 calls a day, right? We are doing as much as we possibly can in a literal 1-day time period. I get some of you work jobs. I get some of you have children. I get it, right? But you're dealt the cards that you're dealt, and you do everything you can to get to that next level, right? So you have to have a quantum work ethic. It might scare some of you hearing that, right? How many calls we're talking about, but it's only for a season of your life. You don't have to do 10 to 15 calls the rest of your life. It's just to go out and accomplish the goals that you're actually trying to get, right? So quantum work ethic is number 2. And the third one is quantum consistency. Okay, so quantum mindset, quantum work ethic, and quantum consistency. I've seen people go on 3-day runs where they do 10 calls for 3 days in a row, 30 calls, right? I've seen people go on 7-day runs, 14-day runs, these little 30-day runs, right? You have to have a quantum consistency. This is where it involves removing everything that stands in your way to accomplish this goal. If you do these 3 things, you're going to have a quantum experience. You will see so much growth in all areas of your life, including this business. You won't even recognize it by June 30th of 2025. And then guess what? We're going to be able to celebrate all together on July 12th in Fort Lauderdale, and also August 6th through 11th in Tulum, Mexico, and celebrate all the hard work that you put in and now how your life is completely changed forever. Okay. You got to make others feel uncomfortable with how big your goals are. If you tell your goals to your friends and family and they're like, oh, that's cool, your goals are not big enough. You got to have goals that are so crazy that people look at you like you're insane. Okay. But don't be the type of person, this is the worst type of person, that tells their family these goals, that tells their friends these goals. But then all of a sudden, a year later, they say, hey, listen, I'm not going to be able to take you on those trips. I'm not going to be able to bring you to the school you want, to the college you want. I'm not going to be able to pay off that debt anymore, right? Because I quit, because I gave up. Okay. If you dial in for a season of your life and learn from the pros, you will change it forever. Okay. That's exactly how me and Jay, at the age of 21, everything I just said to you guys, we took our life to the next level. Okay. So I appreciate everyone for coming on this call. Hopefully you learned some stuff. I'm excited to see how many people absolutely crush the promo that is dropping. We're here to help, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we're a team. Together, everyone achieves more. The presentation call is starting right now, but I appreciate everyone for hopping on, and I will see you all in Florida and Tulum, baby. Let's go. Peace out, y'all.